webinar. We're going to get started here in just one moment, but before we do, if anybody can confirm that both audio connection and video are good, and then we can get started. Thank you. Will, hello to Raymond. Thank you for confirming that. Before we get started, just a quick apology for last week's webinar due to the daytime savings time shift on the different sides of Atlantic. So the last week's webinar started off an hour later than it normally does. So apologies for that. All right, so let's get started. So welcome to the VooPlayer Q&A weekly webinar. My name is Peter. I am VooPlayer's product manager, and we're holding these weekly sessions in order to, as the name indicates, answer any questions that you as user may have, also to provide any training on any advanced use cases of video in your business, also to showcase new stuff that we've been working on and developing at VooPlayer, so you can continue to leverage the value provided, as well as to collect and gather and organize any feedback, constructive criticism, new feature ideas, and so on. The format of the webinar is pretty straightforward. At any time that you have a question, just drop it in the little chat box that you have, and we'll answer them in the order that they came in. If you have any prepared questions, now will be a good time just to drop them in the chat box. If for whatever reason you're not able to attend any of these sessions but would like to review the replays, they are posted weekly both on our YouTube channel as well as in our Facebook group, links to which are posted in the chat right now. Also, if at any time you have an idea which you would like to share and you would like to review what's going on independent of these webinars, you can always, actually I think I have it open in another window maybe, let me just see. Also, you can see what's going on directly from within the application and contribute ideas just by clicking over here on documentation and support and click on submit and vote on ideas, and there you can see everything that we're currently working on, what we're considering, and you can vote on existing ideas or submit a new idea. So that resource is also available there for you. Let me also just share a link to that as well. All right, I think that's all of the housekeeping stuff that I wanted to get out of the way. One more thing. So in order to get more people involved in this webinar, we started, I think, maybe 2 or 3 hours ago. We're going to start sending messages to people who are logging into the application along the lines of, hey, if you haven't registered for the webinar, it's starting in a couple of hours, and if you have any questions, do join. So if you see that in the application, that's just a friendly reminder. We don't have necessarily a good way to segment who didn't register or did register, but either way, I think it serves as a good reminder. So it's going to be presented, I think, maybe up to 5 hours before the event starts. So just so you are aware of that as well. All righty, cool. Let me just see if we have some questions thus far. None. All right, cool. Again, if you have any questions, that'll be a good time just to put them in the chat box. One thing that I did want to bring up is I see a lot of people who are regular on the webinar, but also some new people. So might as well go through the Chrome extension once more quickly. So we now are in the beta stage of the VooPlayer Chrome extension, which is a nifty little tool that allows you to have your videos ready on the go wherever you are on the web. So if you're on Facebook or if you're on WordPress on your WordPress admin, you can quickly access and manage all of your videos and grab the share links and embed codes for them, as well as create new videos quickly by recording your screen and your camera and your microphone directly from within VooPlayer. So it's in somewhat of a unmake up shape, but it's functioning pretty well thus far, and we're able to collect some feedback on it. And as I mentioned, it is currently in the beta stage. So anybody who's interested in giving this a whirl, I'll post a link to the instructions on how you can set this up before the before we actually release it to the Chrome Web Store. The more people we have on this testing it out will greatly help us. So if you have a use case in which you are recording your screen, this would be a great idea, a great tool to use as it kind of simplifies your workflow. Also, if you have use cases where you're constantly sharing your videos across different medias online, this would also be a good, so you can just grab, hey, this is my video, here's a link to it, you can go watch it right here, and you're done without ever needing to open up the VooPlayer application. And so on. So hopefully we're going to get some more beta testers. Currently we have, I think, only a little under a dozen, maybe 10 or 11 people who are testing this out. So we would really love to get more people in on this. And then we can get the Facebook group involved as well. So we'll escalate sort of the release process as we gather more feedback. So that's one thing that we continue to be focused on currently. We got some interesting feedback from the last week's webinar, so hopefully we'll get some feedback this week as well, both in this and any new viable features that can enhance VooPlayer. All right, so we got a comment from Will. So far, so good with the extension, liking the fallback code. Yes, we recently added also the ability to generate non-beta performance code and the fallback codes. So that's something that was missing, and it covers a lot of use cases. So hopefully that comes in useful. All right, so again, the floor is open to any questions that you guys may have. Any comments on your, since I see some new faces, any comments on your initial experiences with VooPlayer, any roadblocks that you ran into, any outstanding concerns that you may have, any questions that may clarify VooPlayer or your account situation or anything, are more than welcome. So I'll give it a couple of minutes for anybody to ask a question. If not, we're going to call this thing pretty early. We're 8 minutes in. Oh, we'll have to rename this session from Q&A to Peter just talking about the extension, weekly sessions. Alrighty. Well, since we have no, all right, Demori has one. Any luck in checking in the color shifting shift in videos by encoder? No luck in the conversion. I think that was the sort of a slight variation in the color supported by different codecs, if I remember correctly. So no updates on that. Rick thought this was a general training session. It could be, as I said, one of the purposes of the webinar really is to provide training, Rick, but it will be somewhat ungrateful to provide basic training every time for general uses of VooPlayer. So if you have a particular use case which you would like us to explore, or if you present us with, hey, my videos need to be something like I can't figure out how to accomplish something that I want to do with my videos. Is there a way to accomplish that? Then we can explore that as well. So specific situations and specific use cases for us to elaborate will come in great moving forward. New to Voo Player, I'll check out the YouTube channel. Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of good stuff on Voo Player. Also, a lot of detailed information on docs.vooplayer.com, which is the official documentation. So do go through that. There's a lot of nice training in there. I think there's a section called Getting Started. That would be a good place to get started. Getting started would be a good place. How far away is the Access Code release? Access Code has not moved in the slightest. So that's one of the things that, as I mentioned a few times, we're still kind of in the in-between space of should we become an access management platform or not, or just a video hosting player solution. So we'll keep everybody updated on that as it's currently kind of scheduled as planned, but we're not starting work on it due to the identity crisis of if we are an access management platform or not. Curious if anyone has suggested a QR option for email embeds. How would that work? How would a QR code option work for email embeds? So you scan the QR code and that opens up the video? Is that the idea? Well, why couldn't you do that on your own? I think you can just go QR generator. Are you just talking about just kind of inserting this as a tool within Voo Player that anybody can utilize? Because from at least the utilization that I see is you can just grab any URL, your website URL. So for example, this, or you can grab the just time saver. Yeah. All right. I understand the idea. I'll note that as feedback. I don't see use case for that being too ubiquitous. So we'll just add it to the ideas board and see if it picks up any momentum. Let's see. Demori is saying feature requests. Be able to create videos and send video in email. Would you consider creating a phone app to record videos and upload to an account, similar to something like Bonjoro? Continued, be great to give new signups a personal hello video that we can record from phone and email to them automatically. Record from phone. So you would, I guess, be recording yourself from your phone, and then that would get uploaded to Voo Player, and then you can share the link with somebody. I'm trying to think if there's really a need for a phone application. I think that can kind of be executed within the browser. I mean, you can do that with we don't currently offer that solution, of course. It's definitely a new feature request, but that's something that we could definitely yeah. So I guess I see what you're saying, because it'll be much niftier to use the phone's camera application, and then you can share it to, you don't have to share it to a Voo Player application. Yeah, let me note that. That's really a really good use case that we don't have covered yet. So I don't have the answer for what the best solution would be there. It definitely sounds like that would kind of require some sort of a Voo Player application to be installed on the phone, but we'll definitely consider that and follow up on that. Browser, you need to be in front of the computer. No. As I mentioned, the browser could work from the phone as well. It's just that it wouldn't be as nice of an experience as you just recording a file with your camera application, then sharing it to Voo Player. Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks for that idea. It's really interesting, and I think it carries a lot of potential. Not necessarily. It's definitely a viable solution. I'm just not sure how feasible it is within the current VuPlayer ecosystem. Good to use the camera in real world, the outside location. Ask some questions so you know that you're not alone here. All right, cool. Yeah, thanks for the support and thanks for the idea, Demori. All right. Do we have any other questions or ideas? That was an amazing idea. A couple of good ideas for future enhancements, both viable. All right, it sounds like we're out of questions. Maybe we used to do this in previous webinar sessions where we sort of came prepared with some sort of general filler training for really advanced use cases. So we might actually turn back to that following next week webinar. It might not be of interest to everybody, but it'll be a good time filler, and I think might pique some interest for some unknown or lesser known VuPlayer features. All righty, I want to thank everybody for joining this week, and hopefully we'll see you next week. And I'll prepare some training next week for I think the first thing that comes to my mind, integration of CRM tags for video events and funnel answers. So for example, somebody watching your video and then you have them as a contact in your CRM platform, and then forwarding VuPlayer events on how much percentage of a video they watched or what they answered or what they clicked on inside of your CRM. So I think that's going to be the training for next week if anybody's really interested in joining on that. Also, we'll probably provide a better update on the Chrome extension if we collect some more feedback. Let me share that link once more with you guys. If you haven't caught it the first time, we really need the feedback on that. All righty, cool. Let me see if I missed anything in between. I would like training on how to use the webhooks and connect to email providers. Noted. All righty, let me note that as well. Actually, webhooks. All righty. Include Zoho. Also with Demio, we are no longer sent replays later on the day. That's weird. We'll have to look into that. When I can't make it, I seem to miss them and can easily get access. As mentioned, always on the YouTube channel if Demio fails for whatever reason, but we'll definitely look into why the replays are not sent. All right, thanks everybody once more. Hopefully we'll see you next week and have a great remainder of your week. Bye.